If Jamie is listening, I just want to say, thank you for teaching me how to love with all my heart. Emotional storm. 2 weeks after the world watched Jamie Dornan quietly collapse, Dakota Johnson finally broke her months-long silence. She appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair, her eyes distant, her face sad, no longer the glamorous Anastasia Steele, but a woman facing her own heart. "I know what people say. I know he's hurt, and so am I." The opening line is heartbreaking. She admits, her relationship with Jamie never really broke down, but life, fate and time took them on different paths. It was never just a movie. Dakota recalls her time filming 50 Shades of Grey. "We were young, passionate about our work, and there was something very real between us. People think it's acting, but I know, and he knows, there were real feelings." She paused, sighed. "But sometimes, the most real things don't exist off-screen. We were under too much pressure, too many people watching. I chose to leave, not because I didn't love him anymore, but because I was afraid it would destroy us both." Chris Martin, Peace After the Storm. Dakota insists she didn't run away to Chris Martin, but looked for a peaceful place. "Chris is the one who helps me breathe. He doesn't ask about my past, isn't jealous, isn't suspicious. He just quietly jokes around and makes me feel safe." She smiled slightly when mentioning him, a smile that made many people realize that Dakota's current feelings were not impulsive, but the choice of a mature woman. "Jamie is the storm, Chris is the shore. But that doesn't mean I forget that storm." The confession that shook the world. The reporter asked, "Dakota, does he, Jamie, know how you really feel?" Dakota was silent for a few seconds, her eyes filled with sadness. "He always knew. We didn't have to say it. There are things you can understand just by looking at them. But I hurt him, because I didn't have the courage to face that love." During the interview, Dakota admitted that she had rekindled her romance with Jamie earlier this year, before getting back together with Chris Martin. "We talked, laughed and reminisced. I think we both had hope, but neither of us knew how to start over." Malibu photos. When the photos of her and Chris holding hands in Malibu were released, Dakota said she knew Jamie would be heartbroken. "I didn't want him to know through the press. I just wanted to be honest, no pretense, no hiding. But when I saw his reaction, I cried." She remembers Chris Martin holding her tight while she shook with tears. "Chris told me, you don't have to apologize for loving someone. Love is not a mistake. And I believed that, but at the same time, I knew I had hurt a wonderful person." Jamie's ghost still lingers. A question that left Dakota silent for a long time. Do you still love Jamie Dornan? Finally, she softly replied, "Love doesn't disappear, it just changes shape. I don't know what else to call it, but I will always have a corner of my heart for him." Dakota spoke through tears, but her voice remained calm, as if she had learned to live with the longing, the reporter observed. The unfinished story. Dakota recounts the last time they saw each other, the Oscars after party, where she smiled and he whispered in her ear. "It was a beautiful moment. We didn't say much, just laughed. But deep down I knew it could be the last time." A source at the party said, "Jamie looked at her like he was trying to remember every detail, her eyes, her smile, her voice. Dakota tried to pretend he didn't know." Dakota confirmed, "When he left that day, I knew we had closed a chapter. There was no anger, no regrets. Just two people in love, saying goodbye in silence." Unsent texts. Dakota admitted that after the Malibu incident broke out, she considered texting Jamie, but didn't dare. "I wrote over and over, 'I am sorry, I hope you're okay.' But I didn't send it. I was afraid of making things worse. I was afraid he would think I was sorry." She smiled sadly. "I know Jamie is a strong person. He doesn't need my apology. He just needs peace, and I pray for that." Amelia Warner responds, In a surprising twist, People magazine revealed that Jamie's wife, Amelia Warner, sent Dakota a private message after the interview was published. "Thank you for being honest. I know you're hurting too." A source close to the matter said Amelia and Dakota briefly met at a charity event in Los Angeles. They shared a brief hug. There was no animosity, just understanding between two women who both loved the same man. The song that started it all. One detail that has fans all over the world excited is that Chris Martin wrote the song Return to Love supposedly for Dakota. But one lyric has sparked controversy. "You came from the shadow of another month's pain. But I'll hold you until you smile again." Fans believe it's a metaphor. Chris Martin admitted he knew Dakota had returned from a broken heart with Jamie Dornan. On social media, the hashtag Jamie Dakota Chris love triangle has become a global trend. Millions are talking, leaving emotional comments. 3 hearts, 1 story. Pain, forgiveness and love, all in one song. Jamie's reaction to Dakota's words. According to a source close to her, Jamie read Dakota's interview. He did not respond publicly but shared a short line on Instagram. "It takes courage to speak the truth. I am proud of you." This status quickly attracted millions of likes, making fans cry. They understood that, between Jamie and Dakota, there is no more anger, only respect and deep affection. The end or the beginning? In a conversation with a close friend, Dakota admitted, "I don't know if we will ever see each other again. But if we do, I will tell you that I am so grateful to have been loved that way." A friend of Jamie shared, "Jamie has forgiven. He no longer blames her. Now, they are just two lost souls in one of the most beautiful moments of their lives." Silent night in Malibu. One late evening in Malibu, Dakota was seen sitting on her porch, listening to Coldplay through her headphones, the moonlight reflecting off her pensive face. A neighbor said, "She sat there for hours, then started crying. Maybe she was thinking about the past." Chris Martin then walked out, draped a blanket over her shoulders, and the two sat in silence, not saying a word. The moment was captured by paparazzi, and the world understood that, although Dakota had chosen a different path, she still carried a scar that would never heal. Hollywood moves on, but fans still remember. The press called it the most emotional triangle in modern Hollywood. A critic wrote, "Rarely has a story made the public cry so much, not because of a scandal, but because love, no matter how beautiful, does not always have a happy ending." A series of fan-made YouTube videos featuring Jamie and Dakota behind the scenes of 50 Shades, interspersed with Dakota and Chris Martin on stage, is titled, "Love Never Dies. From Screen to Real Life." Goodbye, Mr. Gray. Last words. As the interview ends, Dakota looks out the window, her voice dropping. "If Jamie is listening, I just want to say, thank you for teaching me to love with all my heart. I hope you are happy, really happy." The reporter asks her, "Do you believe we'll meet again?" Dakota smiles, a sad but beautiful smile. "If the universe wills, we will meet again, maybe not in this life, but somewhere, where there are no more tears." Conclusion, a silent goodbye. A month later, Jamie Dornan appeared at an awards ceremony in Dublin. When asked about Dakota, he simply said, "I read her words. She was so brave. I just hope she will always love." Then he walked away quietly. On the screen, Coldplay's The Scientist played, a sad but beautiful song, as if closing a love story that melted and broke millions of hearts at the same time. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson. Two people, two worlds. A love that once burned, now only ashes warming the memory. And sometimes, the most beautiful thing two people who once loved each other can do for each other is just saying goodbye in love.